everybody, welcome back to another episode of S13 Media. Thank you for tuning in on the very first episode of 2021. I hope you guys are all doing well. We got a long and hopeful year ahead of us, but hopefully you guys stay safe and stay positive. Sorry for the noise up above. I didn't realize that there's gonna be a lot of planes flying around, but hopefully you guys can hear me pretty clearly. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about my Bringatrailer experience selling my 1990 240 SX. I'll take you guys through the exact steps that I took to get my car listed on the website and what the experience was like, whether I recommend you guys use their service or not. And then last but not least, the ease of using everything and getting everything up and running. It took overall about a month and a week to get my car listed, to get my car photographed and sold. So I'll take you guys through the experience there. The reason why I wanted to sell my 240 SX was I wanted to go into 2021 being in a really good financial position, and I've had 3 cars in the past, so that car being one of the cars that I've loved the most, and I've always dreamed about owning a 240 SX, but I think I wanted to make another important decision, and I wanted to just be more financially set, and that's why I wanted to go ahead and just have 2 cars now. Nevertheless, I want to take you guys through the first step on Bringatrailer. So on Bringatrailer, you guys know that they're very meticulous about the cars that they accept. They don't just accept any car. So basically, if you have like any car that you want to put on the website, it's not like Craigslist where you could just list something and it's automatically approved and the ad is out live for everybody to see in public. If you want to put your car in Bringatrailer, you first have to go through the application process, and you have to take photos of your car. You browse through their website and you click on the submit application section, which I took about about 50 to 60 photos of my 240 SX. I took really clean shots of my exterior, the interior. I took photos of the front, the back, any damage underneath the car. And once you have that taken, you submit all the photos through an application process, and you have to fill out a bunch of information like your name, your address, the model of your car, the reason why you're selling it, if there's any damage. They also want a copy of your title, and you basically have to sell your car. If you have to have the title. If you don't have the title, you won't be able to list your car up for sale. You have to own it and show proof that you own the car. So after going through the whole process, I took photos, I filled up the application process, and they're very meticulous. So every little detail about the car you have to fill out, like the color, the damage, the modifications. I kept a file on Google Docs of all the modifications up to like the bolts and grommets and everything about the car. So I put that all in, and the more detailed you are, the better it is, because if you're not detailed, they're not gonna, maybe they're gonna miss some steps, or they're gonna miss some information when they write the ad for you. So the whole process of me submitting the application and getting all the photos up and completing the new application took about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. I guess they were pretty busy. So I submitted the car probably around November, the end of November, mid-December of last year. So I think after I got approved for that, I think I felt really nice, but at the same time, you have a long period of time in between, so you're kind of having like mixed feelings, whether you want to like sell the car or not. So you're not really quite sure, but once I made the decision, I just moved forward with it. So from the time you put the car up, you have a certain time period to cancel, right? And how the price breakdown is that I think there's 3 levels. One is like the basic level, what you pay, like I think it's $100 to list your car. And once you list your car, if you pick that basic package, you pretty much take photos of your car. You don't do anything. The only part that Bringatrailer helps you with is that they go in and do the app. They write the ad for you. So I paid for the middle one, the middle package, which I paid for a professional photographer, an additional $200 on top of the $100 of listing the car. So I paid about $300 total for everything. So the photographer came out. It was really nice. I guess they have a contractor. They work with certain third-party photographers, and they came out and then they took pictures of my car. So you basically go in and you sign up for the calendar, you write down your time, and then you tell the people like what day and time they want to come out. They can meet you anywhere at your house, at a location, whatnot, but I wanted the photographer to come out to my house. So he came out. This was like kind of like mid-COVID, so we were kind of really careful. We wore masks, we kind of social distance, but he took photos of my car. He was very meticulous. He had all the equipment. He had really good reviews, and they're very transparent. Bringatrailer is very transparent about the photographers that they use, so you want to make sure that you're working with someone that's like professional and someone that's going to represent your car the best way that they can. So he came out, he took photos for about 2.5 hours of my car, and I told him everything that I wanted, like the front, the back, any damages. He took photos of like all my brochures, documents, keys. The only thing he couldn't take pictures of was underneath the carriage, because I didn't have a lift at that time, and I took those manually by myself. I jacked the car up and then sent that off to Bringatrailer later on. So as soon as the photographer comes back and edits all the photos, I think from what he told me, there's a company out in France that takes the photos and edits them and then sends them back to Bringatrailer. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what the photographer told me at least. And the time that the photographer took the photos to having them up on the website, that took a long time. That took about 3.5, almost 4 weeks. So the longest part in between was actually having the photos edited. And once the photos were edited, Trevor was the guy that I work with from Bringatrailer. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him or you guys have sold cars before and are watching this video. I work with Trevor. He was the one that helped me from A to Z, from the beginning all the way to the very end of the ad of my car being sold. And the photos was up. They wrote the ad, very professional, as you guys can see in the description below. I think my ad is actually still up on Bringatrailer, even though the car has already been sold. You guys can see how good of the ad it is, because they spend a lot of time and they go over every little detail. I think the presentation is very clean, and there's a couple of 240SXs on Bringatrailer I've sold before, but I think mine was probably the second highest price 240 that sold. The highest one was sold for 32,000 something, I forgot. Mine sold for about 19,600. The user or the buyer ended up paying probably 20,000 something for the car, because they have to pay a fee on top of the auction. So anyway, once the car is up on the website, you look at the photos. They have any questions. Trevor was my guy that I work with. He asked me to take photos of certain parts of the car that he thought would help with the auction, and I went over the ad, I reviewed some stuff, I gave him some feedback on what I thought the car deserved, and what the car probably was missing, and he added that into the auction, into the listing, and I approved everything, and then they tell you exactly when the car is going live. So they told me the car is going live for this period of time. It's only good for about 7 days. So after 7 days, if your car sells, you work with the buyer to meet up and negotiate, not negotiate, you meet up to go to the bank or to take care of the transaction. If your car does not sell, then unfortunately Bringatrailer doesn't allow you to relist your car. It's only a one-time thing. So make sure, I think you have a car. I think if you have a nice car, you have like a 240, or you have like a rare car, for sure it's gonna sell. Most cars I've seen on Bringatrailer do sell. Occasionally here and there they don't sell. But the most interesting part of my experience was actually meeting with the buyer and actually going through the whole process of like answering questions. It wasn't really a headache, it was kind of like nerve-wracking, because a lot of people wanted to come by and look at the car and test drive the 240. And I had already detailed the car and stored it away in the garage. I didn't want anybody to drive it, to be honest. And you're actually buying the car sight unseen. I guess it happens many times on Bringatrailer. That's why they try to represent your car as best as they can. So I think, in my opinion, Bringatrailer did a really good job. And I went through and answered each comment, each question. Literally, I read through each single comment. And there was about like 50 or 60 comments. There was a lot. And the last couple of days, people were emailing me consistently about like, oh, how's the car? Are there any problems? Can I drive it? Only a few people came out to my house and actually looked at the car. To be honest, I was a little bit nervous because I didn't know who these people were, but it's all about, you know, representation and protecting yourself. And I have security cameras all over my house, so it's live. And I also have one of my friends, I guess, check the feed live in a different location, make sure I wasn't gonna get robbed. But anyway, I think the couple of people that came out and checked on my car, they vouched for me, and they vouched during the last couple of minutes of the auction, and that, I think, helped me bump the bid price up pretty high. I didn't expect, to be honest, to get that much money for my 240SX. I was expecting only to get about 12,000, 13,000, but I almost got 20,000, so which was a really, really good deal for me. A little extra cash to save and just spend on my RSX. But the whole process of Bringatrailer was really smooth. I didn't have any hiccups, any crazy arguments with like Bringatrailer or any kind of crazy experience with like the buyers. I think everybody was very professional. I think all the buyers have to have a pre-approved credit card on file that they have to file, and Bringatrailer holds that in the back end. So if anything happens, they have the buyer's information. So I think that's more legitimate than like selling your car on like eBay or on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. I think that's really risky, especially if you have a classic car. I think Bringatrailer is a way to go. There's other couple of auction sites that I looked at. I know Doug DeMiro, who has a pretty big YouTube channel. He also has his own site that he kind of work with, and he's selling stuff. But I went with Bringatrailer because they're legitimate. I've checked them out a few times, and I've seen a lot of cars that they've sold on there, so that's why I wanted to go with them. And to get the most money back, if you have a classic, definitely sell your car on an auction, because you're not going to get something that's even remotely similar to the price that I got for my car if I sold it on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. So I really recommend the Bringatrailer experience. They're really good service. I don't know if I'll ever have a classic like my 240SX that I just sold again, so I don't know if I'm going to be selling any cars for a long time. But without, any hiccups or anything, I really recommend you guys use Bringatrailer if you guys are considering this service. The whole experience from A to Z was very good. I ended up meeting with the seller. He was really amazing, really cool guy. When he first saw the car in real life, he was kind of like blown away. Like, he was just, wow, I can't believe I'm seeing this car with my eyes. And you know, like pictures and videos and stuff don't do it justice when you see the car live in person. So keep that in mind, guys. If you guys are looking to buy a car and bring a trailer, be patient and just work with the seller. You know, as a seller, talking to other sellers, if I were to give advice to another seller that's going to sell their car and bring a trailer, just be patient. You're going to get a lot of like haters is giving you like backhanded compliments, like you spend a lot of money on parts, they're crappy, whatever. But don't let that get to you. Just be calm and just set the haters aside, because haters are always going to hate, and you don't want to like deal with all that negativity. So with that being said, please post your comments and questions down below. I do have mixed feelings after I sold the 240. I want to share with you guys some videos. Here's a footage in the beginning of the video, as I've shown you guys earlier. I was pretty sad selling the car and seeing the driver drive away with it, but nevertheless, I'm happy it went to a good owner, and I'm happy that I had a really positive experience with Bringatrailer, and I recommend their services very much so. And please post your comments and subscribe to my channel if you already haven't. And there's a lot of exciting content upcoming for this 2021 year. So that being said, Happy New Year, everybody, and I'll talk to you guys all soon. Take care. Bye now. Yeah, I felt really strange. Like, it was a bittersweet feeling. I felt kind of like mixed. I wasn't sure if I should be sad or if I wasn't sure if I should be happy, because I got a lot of money for the car, like almost 20,000, but I felt like there's nothing that can replace that feeling like you get when you finish a project and you make it in something so nice. And yeah, I don't know, like I think this is the car that I've really missed the most. Like, I miss it more than my S2000. It's probably the slowest car that I've owned. But thinking about it now, I hope that it's at a good place, a good home, and I felt just kind of empty but kind of full at the same time. It's a really bizarre feeling. I'm just glad that everything went smooth. And I mean, just look at it. I mean, this guy is so happy. I mean, check out some of this footage right here. Like, this is the guy who's driving the car away. He just sat in the car. He's so excited to see the 240. He's been looking for a 240SX for so many years. And here I am, like, excited, filming him and just feeling bittersweet. And we were both nervous. I mean, I'm glad that he was cool and didn't really like wanted to test drive the car. He gave me the check, and I went to the bank, deposited, gave him the keys, and it was a done deal. But I don't know what to tell you guys. It's a weird feeling selling a car that you love, and the car is like just basically metal with like moving components and an engine, and like just it drives. But there's something else, like for us car guys, that we feel like, yeah, it just eats us away sometimes. And funny enough, like I had to meditate a couple of nights just to calm myself down just once I sold the car. But I mean, I don't know, it's a mixed feeling. And I mean, even to this day, talking about it on video makes me feel very, I don't know, just I feel kind of mixed, kind of sad but happy. I don't know what to tell you guys, but anyway, it's some rare footage that I wanted to share with you guys. And yeah, hope you guys can relate to my feelings. So one of the questions that I had in my mind was, what if a buyer buys a car out of state or even internationally? And Bringatrailer does support all of these transactions. And if you do have to ship your car, which I was actually prepared for, I communicated with a couple of buyers from different countries, believe it or not. And one guy actually bid on the car, and if he would have won the car, I would have to ship the car. And the shipping works, you work with Bringatrailer. They do have some recommendations of good shipping companies that you can work with. And if you sell the car domestically, which fortunately for me, there's a guy really local that I sold the car to, and I had to get it smogged to get everything processed. But Bringatrailer does work with you to get everything out of the way to make the process easier for you. So I could kind of like relax a little bit more, because I didn't really know if I had to work out that whole shipping process with the buyer, because sometimes you don't know if the money's going to go through, you don't know if the buyer is going to rip you off, or worst comes to worst, he's going to take your money and just run with it. So I think Bringatrailer does a really good job of like communicating with you and the seller, telling both the parties what they need to do exactly. And if you want to get the car shipped, you work and communicate directly with the shipping company, and the Bringatrailer will help you out as needed. So yes, you can ship the car, and yes, you can have peace of mind to ship the car internationally as well. So that was one of the biggest questions I had, because I know a lot of people and some of my friends have sold their cars on Bringatrailer that had to ship their cars. So rest assured, shipping your car is not as bad as it seems.